What does it truly mean to lead with courage? Can vulnerability be a strength rather than a weakness? Have you ever wondered how trust, empathy, and authenticity play a role in building not just teams but relationships that thrive? What if the key to effective leadership was not in the perfection of strategy, but in the willingness to embrace imperfection? These questions challenge the very foundation of traditional leadership. Welcome to Dare to Lead, a deep dive into what it takes to lead with heart and bravery in a world that often demands the opposite. Are you ready to step into a bold new perspective on leadership? Leadership isn't about titles, authority, or perfection. It's about the willingness to step into uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure, what many of us would call vulnerability. This book redefines what it means to lead, breaking down big ideas into actionable insights that shift the way we think about courage, connection, and trust in the workplace. The foundation of courageous leadership. At the heart of courageous leadership is vulnerability. Rather than being a weakness, vulnerability is the birthplace of courage. Being vulnerable doesn't mean oversharing or exposing every personal detail. It means being honest about fears, challenges, and emotions. It's about showing up fully, even when outcomes are uncertain. Vulnerability allows leaders to connect with their teams on a deeper level, creating trust and fostering innovation. When leaders avoid vulnerability, they build walls instead of bridges, and those walls often lead to fear, disengagement, and stagnation. The book challenges us to rethink the cultural narrative that vulnerability is a liability, positioning it instead as an essential leadership skill. The myths of vulnerability. The book identifies several myths that prevent people from embracing vulnerability. 1. Vulnerability is weakness. In reality, it's the most accurate measure of courage. 2. I don't need vulnerability to lead. Leadership without vulnerability is often transactional and lacks connection. 3. I can do it all alone. True leadership is never a solo act. It thrives on collaboration. 4. Vulnerability means sharing everything. It's about intentional openness, not indiscriminate sharing. Breaking free from these myths unlocks the door to braver leadership. Building trust through brave conversations. Trust isn't built overnight, nor is it a one-time achievement. It's earned through small, consistent actions over time. The book introduces the concept of the braving inventory, a framework to understand and assess trust. Braving stands for boundaries. Respect others' boundaries and communicate your own. Reliability. Do what you say you'll do. Accountability. Own your mistakes and make amends. Vault. Keep private information confidential. Integrity. Choose courage over comfort and practice your values. Non-judgment. Offer and ask for help without judgment. Generosity. Assume the best of others. These pillars of trust aren't just theoretical, they're deeply practical tools for fostering meaningful relationships at work and beyond. Rumble with vulnerability. The book introduces the concept of a rumble, which is a candid, respectful conversation about tough topics. Rumbles involve staying curious and leaning into discomfort rather than avoiding it. They're not about winning or being right. They're about understanding and growth. By rumbling with vulnerability, leaders can address conflict head-on, build stronger teams, and create a culture where open dialogue thrives. The armor we wear. Many of us wear armor to protect ourselves from emotional discomfort, especially in leadership roles. This armor can take the form of perfectionism, cynicism, or the need for control. The book identifies common types of armor and offers strategies to take it off. 1. Perfectionism. Instead of striving for flawlessness, aim for progress and learning. 2. Toughness. Replace the facade of invulnerability with authentic strength. 3. People-pleasing. Set boundaries and lead from your values rather than seeking approval. Taking off the armor isn't easy, but it's essential for authentic leadership. Living into your values. Leadership rooted in values is leadership that lasts. The book emphasizes the importance of identifying your core values, those guiding principles that define who you are and what you stand for. Living into your values means aligning your actions with those principles, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. The process involves 1. Clarifying values. Choose 2 core values that resonate most deeply with you. 2. Operationalizing values. Define specific behaviors that reflect those values. 3. Practicing values. Commit to living by your values daily, even when it's hard. Leaders who live into their values create a sense of purpose for themselves and their teams, fostering resilience and trust. The power of empathy. Empathy is a superpower in leadership. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. But empathy isn't just about being nice. It's about listening, validating emotions, and connecting on a human level. Empathy builds trust and creates a culture where people feel seen, heard, and valued. The book highlights the importance of empathy in difficult conversations. When leaders prioritize empathy, they can navigate conflict, provide meaningful feedback, and inspire their teams to reach their full potential. Cultivating a culture of courage. Courageous leadership isn't just about individual growth. It's about creating a culture where courage is the norm. This involves 1. Normalizing vulnerability. Encourage open, honest conversations without fear of judgment. 2. Rewarding bravery. Celebrate risk-taking and learning from failure. 3. Developing resilience. Help teams recover from setbacks and move forward stronger. 4. Building connection. Foster relationships based on trust and mutual respect. When leaders cultivate a culture of courage, they unlock the full potential of their teams, driving innovation, engagement, and success. The role of feedback. Feedback is the cornerstone of growth, but it's often avoided because it feels uncomfortable. The book offers practical advice for giving and receiving feedback with courage and empathy. Key principles include: be clear. Avoid vague statements and focus on specific behaviors. Stay curious. Approach feedback with an open mind and a willingness to learn. Show empathy. Acknowledge emotions and validate the other person's perspective. Follow up. Feedback is an ongoing dialogue, not a one-time event. By embracing feedback as a tool for connection and improvement, leaders can create an environment of continuous learning. Courage over comfort. At its core, the book challenges us to choose courage over comfort in every aspect of our lives. This means showing up, being seen, and taking risks, even when it's hard. Courageous leadership isn't about never failing. It's about rising stronger after every fall. The journey to becoming a daring leader is a lifelong process, but it's one that transforms not only how we lead, but how we live. Now that we've explored the power of vulnerability, the art of trust, and the courage it takes to lead authentically, what's stopping you from daring to lead? Can you imagine the ripple effects of choosing courage over comfort in your everyday life? What would it look like to show up fully, embrace imperfection, and inspire others to do the same? The journey to brave leadership begins with one small step, and the question is, are you ready to take it? Stay curious, stay courageous, and join us next time here on BitBooks, where we dive into ideas that transform the way we think, lead, and live. Until then, what will you dare to do?